You will explain who the key leaders were of the Freedom Riders. You will explain the purpose of the Freedom Rides, and make sure that you keep this video as reference, because I'm telling you and explaining the timeline project that you have to do. One of the vocabulary words that you'll have is terminal. That's a place with waiting rooms and a place to purchase tickets. Progress overcomes violence. So we're going to start right down here at the bottom. Hold on, guys. Let me get my pointer. We'll start down here with Freedom Riders. Freedom Riders, who were both black and white, came to Alabama from other states in 1961. They wanted to protest segregation in bus stations in the South. The waiting rooms, restrooms, and restaurants were segregated. John Lewis was a founding member of the SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Lewis and other students joined with the Freedom Riders. Near Anniston, a group of angry people burned one of the Freedom Riders' buses. There was also violence in bus stations in Birmingham and Montgomery. John Lewis was attacked by a mob in the Montgomery bus terminal. Reverend Abernathy and his congregation welcomed the Freedom Riders to a rally. A mob of angry people gathered around the church. The mob threw rocks and shouted threats. Violence was not new to Reverend Abernathy. His home and church had been bombed 4 years before. A civil rights leader, Reverend Thomas Gilmore, said Ralph Abernathy was as tough as iron. Activist Andrew Young said he was a source of strength to us all. To stop the violence, U.S. Attorney General Robert Kennedy sent several marshals to Montgomery. President John F. Kennedy said, "The Attorney General has made it clear that we believe that everyone who travels for whatever reason they travel should enjoy the full constitutional protection given to them by the law of the Constitution." Segregation ended on buses, trains, and airplanes that traveled between states. It also ended in terminals such as those at bus and train stations. By 1962, U.S. Supreme Court rulings ended all segregations related to public travel. Civil rights leaders then began to challenge the segregation of all public places. Many whites wondered why blacks were pushing hard to reach their goals. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. answered when he said, "For years now, I have heard the word wait. It rings in the ear of every Negro with piercing familiarity. This wait has almost always meant never." Your assignment: create a timeline of events described in the passage, Freedom Riders, the passage that I just read to you. So here's mine. 1961, the Freedom Rides began. And then a bus was burned in Birmingham. Freedom Riders attacked in Birmingham. Freedom Riders attacked in Montgomery. And then President Kennedy sent federal marshals to Montgomery in 1961. Again, in 1961, the mob threatens to rally at a local church. 1962, federal government ends segregation at terminals related to public travel. And then over here, segregation on public transportation ends. So this is our sequence of events. You may draw yours with pictures from the web and label on a timeline like I did. You may use drawing tools on Kami or use Google Draw. You may draw a timeline on a piece of paper labeling the events. You must draw a sketch to go along with it. You may make a Google Slides presentation and email it to me. This must be neat work, no scribble scrabble.